And we wished in the past, and even now, that more people talked about it. So we're putting money where our mouth is, and we're talking about it.
Memory made my breakfast again this morning.
And I want one of your blueberries.
I know, you want one of my strawberries, huh? Want this one?
Yeah.
Alright.
No, that's fine.
Whoa, sorry. Recently, we've been getting a lot of questions about what we write in the morning and why.
I've been writing out the Bible for about 3 or 4 years, and my worldview and how I perceive the Bible has changed a lot since in those years, especially in the last year. So it's changed for why I write out the Bible. I write it out because it's therapeutic for me. And I still believe that the Bible has a lot of wisdom to offer, and it's probably one of the best books I could see to write out. So that's why I do it.
And I started, I guess, 6 years ago, and I started off writing out Proverbs, Psalms, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah. These are all like books in the Hebrew scriptures for those of you that aren't familiar. Then I finished Jeremiah and I did John, which was like a New Testament. And now I'm in this other thing, which is like, it's called the Nag Hammadi. People call them like the Gnostic Gospels. They were like banned.
Yeah, like 1800 or 1700 years ago, whenever the Bible was being put together, the powers of be thought these scriptures were not worthy to be put in the Bible.
So I wrote out the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Mary, and now I'm writing out the Gospel of Judas from that. And then I'm going to go back, I think, to just the good old regular Bible. So in a way, this is kind of dumb because I feel like it's like quitting a through hike to run a marathon. I'm trying to write the entire Bible out, but I'm like taking a break by doing this, but it's kind of fun.
Is it taking a break?
Huh?
Is it taking a break?
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because I'm actually trying to get through Jeremiah so that I can start writing out these lesser known books of the Bible.
Oh, you're coming over here? Or you're going somewhere else?
I don't know. Either there or, yeah, I'm coming over here.
But I originally started off writing, like you can see the Proverbs here. It was like to work on my handwriting. Look at that. Man, it was so good back then.
I don't know.
White Play-Doh.
White, yeah.
White.
But just like the act of writing in the morning, it seems to like slow my mind down. It gives me something ritually to do that I've really enjoyed. And when I was thinking about what to start off writing, it's kind of like what you said. It was like, well, I can't think of anything that's like really as deep as the Bible that I knew of that makes me think and slow down and process things. So that's why I started doing it. It was like, it was either that or the Count of Monte Cristo. Someone also asked me what pen I use. This is the Pelican M205. And I put links to all this stuff that we use for our morning routine in the description. So if you want to look at the actual things that we use, you can. That's all.
Who's in the bananas?
Don't touch your eye to the screen.
As you can see, my immune system kicked Pink Eye's ass, and I don't have Pink Eye anymore. But Ben does.
Sometimes antibiotics might be nice, I guess. Okay, what are we supposed to talk about today? I had all sorts of energy for this the other day because I felt like it was kind of an intense conversation, and now it's not, but I feel like it's still a valuable conversation. So about 6 weeks ago, we made a vlog where we gave you guys an update on our sex schedule.
And some of you might be wondering, ew, TMI, why are you talking about your sex life? Well, we don't believe it's ew. For some people, it might be too much information, and if it is, feel free to click off now.
But watch the ad before the video.
For other people, like us, we felt like this doesn't ever get talked about, and a lot of people struggle with their sexuality, they struggle with their sex life.
A lot of people, like
Most people.
People out there, not us.
But we did, and we do, and we wish in the past, and even now, that more people talked about it. So we're putting money where our mouth is, and we're talking about it.
Speaking of, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
So what we talked about 4 or 6 weeks ago was that we, for quite a while, a year or 2 or 3, had scheduled sex for 3 days a week. And the schedule is valuable for us because it's kind of just an agreement up front, like of a default. So it's not to say we can't have bonus sex if we both feel like it, or if one of us doesn't feel like it, we're not like committed to it. It's just saying, hey, instead of spending all this energy trying to figure it out every single time, let's like see if we can agree on long term. But 6 weeks ago, Cami came to me and she said, I feel like I only want to do 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And that was challenging for me because it's just hard for me when I'm used to something, and I'm really more of a 4 time a week guy, so to go from 3 to 2 was hard. But the most valuable thing that has helped me, which I wasn't able to say early on in our marriage, is just to not take that personally. To know that Cami loves me, and even if she doesn't, like, my identity, I'm still just as much of a man. I just remember, like, early on, like, getting denied sex, I would, like, go in some mental spiral. I think there was a lot tied into it. Yeah,
tied to that. Yeah.
But when she now says, hey, I need some space, I actually can function without sex, and our relationship can be just as close. Well, I guess that was the thing we figured out. Mm-hmm. Because after a month, I came to you, and my feelings are that after a month, I was like, well, that was fine. It was easier than I thought. Like, I got used to it. Mm-hmm. But I didn't feel as close to you that month. And I don't know if it's all because of the sex or whether there's other things going on in our life with our belief systems changing, and I just feel like there's a lot going on. There's always a lot going on with us, but
it's life.
But historically, I consider us, like, as far as people I know, like, I think we're really close. I don't know at what point it becomes unhealthy, but I feel like I know a lot of what's going on with you and have, like, all access. We spend a lot of time together.
So we happen to be married, but I think actually we're each other's best friend, which doesn't always coincide in a marriage, and I actually think that's fine. People get married or stay married for different reasons. We're the first person that we go to talk about something. You know, I have found that there's some things that are better to talk with my other friend, who happens to identify as a woman. Sorry, I'm just getting all weird. But
I happen to identify
instead of Ben
as a Ben,
which I actually think that's healthy or can be good to go to other people. But I would call Ben my best friend, one of my best friend's kind of a funny. I don't know. I feel like I'm.
Holy
back in
crap!
high
I
school.
feel like this has taken a long time to say a side point.
I like rabbit trails.
So I didn't feel as close, but the point was for me
Yeah.
that was like, maybe that's like okay, like that doesn't mean we need to have more sex or we need to always feel that close. But you had other things you wanted to share, and it was actually a hard discussion. At least it was
Yeah.
a little bit heated because I think you misunderstood me at first. You said, "Oh, it must be hard for you," or something, and I said, "Well, I never said it was hard for me. It just is a little bit confusing. Like I'm not sure which route we should choose. The route that makes us closer, but yet compromises the space that you feel like you need right now, or the route that makes us feel less close."
Yeah, and there's no right or wrong answer with that. It's just what we agree to do. So I think what led up to my decision to only do twice a week, I mean, there was a lot that kind of led up to that, but one of the things was in our marriage, historically, my need was to meet whatever Ben's needs were. And in this case, sexually, I would just default to whatever he needed or wanted. And I actually, even as I'm saying this, I feel some shame over that, thinking that I'm less of a person because I cared too much about what you wanted than what I wanted was just what you wanted. Like they're like.
Can I interrupt for a second? Too?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like some people might think, oh, they have different libidos, and this is all about libido. I don't think this is all about libido. I think I have a high libido. I think you have obviously you don't have as high of a libido, but there's actually something else going on also, which is I'm like super intense and high like relational connection like all the time, and she's more introverted or needs more space. So I think the libido thing is also important, but I think there's actually something else going on where you actually need like emotional space.
Yeah.
Because sexually, like satisfied wise, you always walked away from our sexual experiences physically being happy.
And even like emotionally feeling more connected and stuff. But so yeah, historically I would have this need to fulfill his needs that makes me feel even now like, oh, I was less of a person that way. But I actually think even just as I'm talking, like I don't want to have judgment of my past self. I want to just see it as, oh, that was something that I needed at the time, was more your approval or your, pleasing you. And I wasn't really as in touch with what do I need, what do I want.
Well, the irony is oftentimes that didn't even please me. Like you were trying to please me,
right?
But I actually wanted your opinion, but it was hard to get it sometimes.
But I wasn't at a maturity level, I think, where I could access it.
Or distinguish yourself.
Yeah, distinguish myself. So I was defaulting to Ben, which, yeah, I think actually had some consequences that would come up every so often where, I would just be trying to match like what you needed, which I wasn't able to do, but I tried. And I think you sensed that where I was kind of just always always just reacting basically to, oh, you need that? Okay, I'll react to that. Oh, you need that? Okay, react to that. And I think it really actually wore me down to the point where I would just get burned out. And then that in turn would bum you out, understandably. So there is dysfunction there. Again, I don't think there should be judgment, even for me to have judgment on our past selves.
I think even if we're going to go that route, then to even call it dysfunction, I think it was like immaturity.
Yeah, maybe that's a better word for it.
Because you were doing the best you could with what you had.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what we're getting at here with some of this language.
Yeah. But now, in my maturity, I am able to step back and say, what is it that I want? What is it that I need? And in doing that, I realized right now, I don't really want to have sex 3 times a week. I want to have it twice a week. And I think that's what I want, what I need. And that's where
Is it fair to say that you actually want it once a week, but you're willing to have it twice a week?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, because like, and even in our discussions, it kind of came out, I was still sort of defaulting to Ben, but less so than I used to. So actually, yeah, I think like if I were just left up to me, I'd say once a week, but I felt like twice a week was like a good compromise of meeting both of our needs. Again, no right or wrong there, and maybe, you know, I don't know. Right now, that's kind of where I'm landing, but I don't really know what the future will look like.
So it can be a little bit scary for someone like me to watch Cami become more individualistic and more separated. But I believe that in the long run, her becoming herself, her true self, instead of who she thinks I want her to be, is the best thing that ever could happen to our relationship. I also believe that with our children, but I believe that with really anyone.
Yeah.
But it can be hard because it means like, it feels like a step backwards. Like we were like really close, like last month having sex 3 times a week, and now we're having less sex. It feels like we should be less friends or less close, but actually getting into the reasons of why, that's where we can't really know what's growth or not until we know why it's happening. So for that reason, I'm actually excited. It still is a little bit harder in some ways, but I don't know, you guys, this is a channel of, if anything, it's not about even kids or family or, you know, I think it's about relationships and it's about growth. And I think one of the best things that can ever happen to relationships is for individuals to grow themselves. So this is what our sexual growth looks like, and because it's growth, I'm excited about it right now.
All right.
It's date night tonight. It's also Wednesday, which is one of our 2 days.
Yep. I got one more sip, so.
All right, the weather's so nice that I got Cami to agree to riding bikes today for date night. It's been a little while. Update, our table just opened up outside and beer cheese is looking okay. Man, look at this out here. This is amazing. It's so nice out. Come on, shove it all, shove it all, shove it all. All right, we have kind of an emergency. The bubble tea place closes at 8 and it's, what, 9 minutes away? I don't know, that's by walking. And we only have about 8 minutes. So I'm waiting for Cami. She's supposed to be coming out of that restaurant soon. I don't know where she is, but we gotta go. Come on, come on, come on, come on! We gotta go, we gotta go. Look at that, we made it. This lady asked if we like bubbles. I didn't know what she was talking about. But because they're closing, she sent all the extra bubbles home with us. Oh, the kids are gonna love these. Look at all those. That's amazing. I think we even have like bubble tea mix at home already. Memory is making bubble tea with the bubbles that we had left over. What are you gonna be eating right now?
Bubble tea!
Yeah!
I love Sour Patch too.
You had Sour Patch Kids?
Uh-huh.
Wow. But now it is time for Cami and I to go into part 3 of date night.